right, we have a very full meeting, as everyone can see. So if you could let us begin, and we will get to your portion very quickly. We're good? Okay.
The live streaming via Zoom has started. We're ready to start here.
All right, if I could have everyone's attention, please. I'd appreciate it. This meeting of the Mahwah Board of Education is open to members of the public to be physically present. Members of the public that attend will be asked to follow the same procedures as all other visitors to our schools. Those procedures can be found on the agenda page of our website. Additionally, the board meeting will be live streamed for viewing purposes only. Anyone wishing to view the meeting may do so via Zoom. The webinar ID for this meeting is 880-1075-8842, and the required password is 706910. I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please, Mr. Bleeker.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Morthy. Ms. Jensen.
Here.
Mr. Copeland.
Here.
Ms. Davanero. Mr. De Silva.
Here.
Mr. Denise. Here. Mr. Gallo.
Here.
Mr. Hughes. Mr. Kizmarski. Here. Dr. Morthy.
Here.
And Student Representative Max Ingerman.
Here.
Thank you.
Adequate notice of agenda of this meeting has been provided to the Ridgewood News and the Record, specifying that the Mahwah Board of Education will meet on May 22nd, 2024 in the Administrative Offices, 60 Ridge Road, Mahwah, New Jersey. A copy was filed with the Township clerk. Mr. Ingerman, would you lead us in the salute this evening?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we do not require an executive session at the beginning this evening, so I'm actually going to turn it over to our student representative, who has a senior night movie to attend, so he's going to give us his report at this time. Mr. Ingerman?
Thank you. So first off, we had Miles for Marcus on Saturday. This was a third annual, and it was a huge hit. We have the sports for spring. We started our state run tonight with girls lacrosse being earlier. They won, and boys lacrosse are right now. When I left, they were winning at halftime. And baseball has tomorrow versus High Point. Action Through Athletics is doing their fourth annual spike ball tournament during lunch. FCA and ATA are doing their second annual softball tournament, and the winner will get to choose their fund. TSA completed in different technology challenges at TCMJ College. There are over 1,000 students from over 65 schools in New Jersey, and they competed in 42 challenges. The senior movie night is tonight at 8 p.m. Senior sunrise is May 31st at 5:15 a.m. Last night was the spring concert. It was amazing as always. Thursday we have our spring choir concert. We want to congratulate Connor Uterigi on his Montclair Theater Award win for Outstanding Achievement by Student Scenic Design Technician for Fall Play. You Can't Take It With You, and congratulations to all of our nominees and the Thunderbird Drama Club. And congratulations to the Drama Club for the 5 Metro Awards nomination they received for their production of Les Mis. The nominations include Outstanding Performance and Cameo for Danny Fernandez, Outstanding Performance by Student Pit Musician for Shashin Choi, Outstanding Achievement in Scenic Design, Outstanding Achievement in Graphic Design for Delina Wong, and Outstanding Student Technical Achievement for Physicom. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ingerman. I think that you want to take a bow, too. Oh, no, we're going to the teachers. Sorry. I apologize. I'm turning it over to Dr. DeToro for teacher recognition and appreciation. Thank you.
Yes. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Last board meeting, we had the opportunity to celebrate staff members. Today, we're celebrating staff members. And the next board meeting, we're going to be celebrating our retirees. And it's great to see some retirees out in the audience today. So welcome back. This is something that I hold very special. I think it's something that was long overdue. We started it last year. It's for Bergen County Teacher of the Year Award. The Bergen County Teacher of the Year Teacher Recognition Program was developed in 1985 for the purpose of acknowledging teachers who exhibit outstanding performance. Last year was the first year we took part in this event, and it was a tremendous success. According to the program's guidelines, each school district is invited to select teachers to be recognized for their achievements. The criteria for each nomination is as follows: positive interactions while functioning as a frontline advocate for the student between home and school, fostering an appropriate environment for learning and exploring creative alternatives to enable all students to function to their fullest potential, supporting student achievement while addressing the educational, social, and emotional needs of all students, and in personal interactions with students that demonstrate professionalism while retaining respect, humor, compassion, and concern for the whole child. So let's start off. We usually go elementary to high school. We're going to switch it up a little bit. I know. We're going to go with Mahwah High School first. This is great. So the Mahwah High School teacher that has been recognized for this year is Miss Sarah Kaczynski. Ms. Kaczynski has been a high school math teacher for 24 years, 19 of those years in Mahwah. Her motto is others above self. She is always the first staff member to assist a colleague. As the club advisor for Habitat for Humanity, which has over 70 students, her club members tutor and offer homework assistance, shovel snow for senior citizens in Mahwah, and find ways to form social connections with younger students by inviting the 4th and 5th grade students to various high school events. Mrs. Kaczynski is a teacher leader who is deserving of being recognized. 2 of Mrs. Kaczynski's students are here tonight to speak on her behalf. Rory and Bobby, would you like to come up? You guys want to use that one?
You got it.
Rory, grab that button.
Should I turn it around?
Yeah.
Not again, only once. Hello, my name is Bobby Politis. I'm a senior at Mahwah High School. So I'm here to speak about Ms. Kaczynski, who has been such a great role model and person that I've learned from throughout my time at Mahwah High School, in the classroom and outside the classroom. She's engaged and very involved in the Township of Mahwah and community service through Habitat for Humanity, and also in the classroom. She clearly teaches a very hard subject in calculus. So she never gives up on anyone, and that has grown onto me, and I've never given up on myself because of her, and her kindness makes everyone better, and she's one of the people in the world that because of her, everyone is better because of her.
Hi, my name is Rory. I just have something short that I wrote about Miss J. I have had the honor of getting to know Miss Kaczynski these past 3 years at Mahwah High School. I can truly say, every day I see her, she brings a smile to my face. Not only is she an amazing teacher, she's also an inspiration to all of her students. I met Miss G through Habitat for Humanity, and anyone who truly knows her knows how special this is to her. Getting to see her spread her love for a cause as special as Habitat truly brings me so much joy. The power of our community and the way she is able to bring people together is truly magical. It is through her that I feel like I'm not only bettering myself, but also my community. There is no one more deserving of this honor as Miss J. In class, she is always kind, compassionate, helpful, and caring. She always wants what is best for her students, even though we can get annoying at times. I have learned more from her than I have any other teacher, and that's not just mathematically. She has shown me that I can do anything if I work hard enough for it. Ms. Kaczynski, I wish one day to be half the woman you are today. From the bottom of my heart, I love you and want to thank you for everything you do for me and our community.
Lori, that was awesome. Thank you. Mrs. Kaczynski, can you, I don't even know where you are in the crowd. Oh, there you are. You're standing. Hi. If you can, Rory. There we go. We have a little something for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Kaczynski, do you want to say anything? I knew you did.
Oh, well, hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here and for supporting everybody tonight. Congratulations to everybody who won tonight. You're all amazing. 2 of the teachers who won tonight actually had my daughter, and I'm so grateful for that. But I love Mahwah, I love teaching, I love my students, and I'm just so grateful that they came here tonight, and thank you so much. And thank you to all of you for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we move on to the next staff member to celebrate, Mr. De Silva would like me to share with the crowd that, is it okay to say you're here?
Yeah.
Ms. Kaczynski is a Mahwah alumni, class of 1993.
Doing special things that class.
An amazing group. So next, to honor Ms. Kathy Carisi, she's our school psychologist at Rampart Ridge Middle School. Kathy, can you just give us a wave? There she is. That's very Kathy of her. Ms. Carisi's expertise as a school psychologist is noteworthy. But beyond her expertise, what makes Kathy so special is how she goes about her work. Kathy remains committed to a hands-on approach with her students and her caseload as she continually pushes out of the office to connect with students in the classroom, in the hallway, in the cafeteria, or at recess. In addition to being an incredible resource and support person for our students, parents, and guardians, Kathy is the go-to trusted colleague for countless staff members. She remains a steadfast advocate for students. And as a side note, Kathy is the easiest person I know to scare. Ms. Rizzo, our Director of Special Services, knows Ms. Carisi well and wanted to speak on her behalf this evening.
Good evening. Dr. Fair, Dr. DeToro, I apologize in advance. I thought this was a roast and not an opportunity to talk about how amazing she is as a member of the Child Study team. Ms. Carisi is the person who will run towards the challenge if it means helping a student or a colleague, and she never shies away from difficulty, even if she is confidently unsure. She goes forward with her gut and intellect and doesn't look back. Kathy's work ethic is second to none, and because of who she is, she will take care of the person or the student in front of her, and the rest, especially paperwork and emails, can wait. Kathy has all the qualities that you would want in someone on your child's team or your team. Hardworking, dedicated, and if she's working with you, then you are her priority. And even if she isn't assigned to work with you, she will jump into action regardless. Her advocacy skills for students with special needs is driven by a passion that started in her youth. Her work in Mahwah is just a fraction of her lifelong dedication to people who can otherwise be marginalized by the rest of the world. She is a champion for all. Let me share a recent tangible experience that can help you understand who Ms. Carisi is. One of her students was not able to leave on time to go to school because his nurse was delayed. Ms. Carisi called the parent who expressed upset over the situation. While the call ended with an abrupt hang-up from the parent, there quickly came a solution. And when Ms. Carisi tried to call the parent with the solution, this time he did not answer the phone. Knowing that time was of the essence to get the student to school, Ms. Carisi drove to the other side of town to knock on his front door. Ultimately, the student was on a bus and to school, and education was not interrupted for her student. As my daughter stated to me, I like talking with Ms. Carisi. She gets it, even if she does call me out. Ms. Carisi's astute knowledge for child psychology, her depth of intellect on remediating and addressing the special needs of learners, her frank yet loving way of speaking, her willingness to dive headfirst into any situation, and her infectious love of a good prank or a running joke makes her an outstanding representation of a Mahwah educator. Kathy, well deserved. Congratulations. Now you have to show yourself.
Yeah, sure do.
I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much.
Kathy, a few words. I know, it's funny like this when I just take Sarah.
This is a struggle, so I apologize in advance. I'd like to first wish everybody here tonight who's been honored congratulations. And I'd like to thank everyone for acknowledging the work that I do here. I feel really blessed that I work for Mahwah. 24 years ago, I didn't know that 17 went as far as it did, but I'm happy I found it. And I called 3 times. They didn't have GPS back then. But it has been truly just a wonderful experience for me. I loved every single student that walked through my door. And I viewed them as my own child, so I made decisions based on what I'd do if they were my child. So I just feel so lucky and blessed to be here and to work with the amazing people that I've worked with for 24 years at the Ridge, especially Lisa and her guidance. So thank you again for the acknowledgement.
Our next staff member is Liz O'Callahan from Joyce Kilmer School. Mrs. O'Callahan is an incredible teacher who exceeds all expectations in her own professional way. She is structured, she is kind, inclusive, and is always there for her students. Liz regularly has students with IEPs in her classroom and includes them with grace and dignity. She participates positively in IEP meetings and is an asset to the team. Many people might overlook Ms. O'Callahan because she quietly gets the job done, but her excellent teaching and interpersonal skills should be recognized. Although Liz's students and families wanted to speak on her behalf this evening, many have a commitment at the JK Spring Concert, which is actually happening right now. They wanted to share their message through a video instead.
Here are a few things that I like about Ms. O'Callahan. She's so helpful and makes our class and school a better place. She's so kind to us as students and is selfless. She's great at solving problems and cares more about us than she does herself. She's very friendly and responsible, and her class is really organized, which makes learning so much easier. She's really clever and creative, which makes the class fun. Like we are working on our field day project, and she has such great ideas to make it look better. Overall, she's a great teacher, a nice person to be around, and we really enjoy being in her class. Thank you, Ms. O'Callahan, for being awesome.
I just want to add something along the lines of my experience with Ms. O'Callahan. I served in Joyce Kilmer School as principal with Ms. O'Callahan for 7 years, and I just have to echo something that was said here. Ms. O'Callahan is a quiet force at Joyce Kilmer School. She is so respected by her colleagues. You rarely hear from her, but you see the product each and every day. Whether it's the children walking down the hall like little soldiers right behind her, or you walk into her class and you see such amazing teaching going on that she is tapping into each and every one of the students in her class and getting the absolute most out of them. Ms. O'Callahan serves as a mentor for so many teachers, new teachers and veteran teachers, and I can't say enough about the ability that she has and the impact that she has on the Joyce Kilmer community, so congratulations.
Liz, I know this is so not your style.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I know you can.
Hear from the one you never hear from.
Yeah.
So, it's been, when I was thinking back, 28 years ago, I kind of stepped in it in a good way where I was student teaching here. And I was lucky enough to get a job the following fall. And Mahwah has always welcomed me with open arms. And I feel fortunate to still be here and supported by administration, my friends and colleagues, and of course the students and parents. Thank you very much for everything. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
And a shout out to Avery. Avery was the student who jumped on the video for us. Our next honoree is Miss Ellen Mahoney. I saw Ellen earlier. Can you just stand up briefly, Ellen? Okay, yes, there she is. Kindergarten at Lenape Meadows School. Mrs. Mahoney has dedicated over 3 decades of her life to teaching our children in Mahwah. Many have had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the remarkable dedication and passion that Mrs. Mahoney brings to her role as an educator. Ellen ensures that each student feels supported, valued, and challenged in their learning journey. Mrs. Mahoney embodies the qualities of an outstanding educator: advocacy for students, clear communication, involvement in the school community, leadership, and a passion for teaching. The Wright family has had 2 children who have had the fortunate opportunity to be in Mrs. Mahoney's class and are also here this evening. Yes, Mr. Wright. When I spoke to Mrs. Wright over the phone, they were so excited to speak about you. I can use that microphone. Very cool.
My cell phone's going to die, ladies and gentlemen, so I'll be quick. Technology. You all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, this is my daughter Parker. This is Peyton, my wife Jennifer. Being a teacher is not an easy job. There are many different kinds of teachers. Those that just teach, get the job done, go home, check the box. Then there's the teachers that go above and beyond. Now, the job of a kindergarten teacher is probably one of the most difficult, exhausting jobs there is. Rent the movie Kindergarten Cop if you guys need it. She wipes tears, cleans runny noses, ties shoes, and for my high-maintenance children, posts sticky notes on automatic toilet sensors to stop it from flushing. Right. When time comes to send your firstborn off to kindergarten, many parents are met with a mix of emotions, as were we. In 2018, it was our turn to send our first child, Peyton, off to kindergarten. We were not okay. The time had come for Lenape Meadows kindergarten orientation, and now this is through my wife's words. I'm just going to repeat. I actually walked into the kindergarten classroom and took a seat. We listened to the HSO president speak, and lastly, one of the kindergarten teachers spoke to us about the kindergarten experience and what to expect. As an anxious parent, I sat and listened. The teacher had a warm, friendly smile throughout her presentation, and I started to accept the idea of sending my baby off to kindergarten. All I could think of is, wow, she is really excited about kindergarten. Maybe I should be too. I knew that we were going to be brave and get through this. I needed him to have this nice teacher with this big smile standing in front of me. I also discovered later on I was not alone, and everyone wanted to have her too. True that too. Apparently she was the teacher you wanted to get. At the end, I learned that the teacher's name was Mrs. Mahoney. As the summer progressed, nerves set in. And finally that day in August, the day that all the parents eagerly wait by their computer to find out who their teacher's is going to be, we got the word it was going to be Mrs. Mahoney. I jumped with excitement and the decision was made. Peyton was going to kindergarten and he was going to be okay. He was going to be in the best hands. The day before school, we had the opportunity to visit the classroom, and at the end, I quietly walked up to Mrs. Mahoney and introduced myself. I spoke of my concerns and she patiently, still smiling, listened to my 5-minute anxious rant. She calmed me down and told me it was going to be okay. And I was going to be okay because I found out she was a Giants fan. I watched my little boy grow up in front of my eyes. He loved the school and absolutely loved his teacher. He was thriving. Mrs. Mahoney would frequently let me know of his progress, or even when he was testing her, knew the freedom away from home. We were a team. She loved her students and it showed. One Saturday, she came to watch him and some of his other classmates at their soccer game. He just loved his teacher and we loved her too. It was a great year. Fast forward 3 years and it was time for our baby, our little angel, Parker Eloise, to go to kindergarten. That's her. This was even harder. I made the decision that if Parker didn't have Miss Mahoney, she was just not going to kindergarten at all until she had Mrs. Mahoney. I emailed her over the summer a reminder that Parker was going to kindergarten, hint, hint. She responded immediately and told me not to worry, she would be in good hands no matter what. My wish came true and Parker was beyond excited. On the first day of school, my little 6-year-old baby ran with excitement right into the building to see Miss Mahoney and left me at the door crying. It was another amazing year. Parker loved kindergarten and going to school every day. They developed a very special bond. Parker felt so very loved by Miss Mahoney. She just loved their hugs. Fast forward. One morning, Parker was upset, crying, and wouldn't go into the building. Maybe because the Giants lost. This was very unlike her. Mrs. Mahoney came outside, kneeled down, wiped her tears away, and brought her inside. She messaged me shortly and said, "Don't worry, she's smiling now." Over the years, Mrs. Mahoney has become more than a teacher to both Peyton and Parker. Her love, her hugs, her smiles have a lasting impact on both of them. Even if they left their classroom, she has always and continues to make them feel special, as she does with all of her students and former students. When you mention the name Mrs. Mahoney around town, parents' eyes light up. Parker is now in 2nd grade. This past December, she danced in her first Nutcracker ballet. She asked me if I could email her teachers and invite them to come watch her. Then she said, "And don't forget about Mrs. Mahoney, Mommy. She'll be so excited to see me dance on stage." And Mrs. Mahoney responded to my email within minutes, and a response, "I can't wait to see my shining star on stage." I will never forget the look on Parker's face when I read that to her. She felt so special. More recently, after every track meet, Parker says, "Mommy, did you send Miss Mahoney my video?" I think she secretly loves receiving those congratulatory hugs and praise every Monday morning. And lastly, we all have teachers in our lives that we remember for forever. I have them, my wife has them, and all of you do. And I think Mrs. Mahoney is one of those teachers that my children are going to remember for the rest of their lives. They will always remember her smile, her hugs, and the love that she showed them inside of school, outside of school, and the years after they were her students. And that's what makes her an extraordinary teacher and person. Lenape Meadows is so fortunate to have Mrs. Mahoney on their team to welcome our newest members to the school community. They are in the best of hands. Thank you, Mrs. Mahoney.
Mrs. Mahoney. Do you have a note to say real quick? Oh, of course. I don't want to take the stage from Parker. You good?
Thank you.
When I spoke to Mrs. Wright, she shared that she didn't want to jump on the mic, but she said that her husband would do a great job and killed it. So
Next time, print it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. You're here.
So jumping your
yes,
for you, Ellen.
yes. Anyone who knows this pair, Marianne is Ellen's sister, and they both happen to teach kindergarten together at Lenape Meadows School. So.
Mr. Wright, you stole some of my material, but I'm going to let go. As the much younger sister, I have had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the passion, dedication, and unwavering commitment that Ellen brings to her work every single day. It's not just a job for her, it's a calling. From the moment she steps into the classroom, she radiates warmth, kindness, and enthusiasm, creating an environment where children feel not only safe and cared for, but inspired. Growing up with her, I always knew she had a special gift when it came to working with children. Her patience, creativity, and her love shines through every day. Whether it's through her storytelling, hands-on activities, or just a hug, she has an extraordinary ability to connect with every child, understanding their needs, their strengths, and their challenges. Throughout her career, Ellen has touched the hearts and minds of students in ways that extend beyond textbooks and lesson plans. She creates an environment where curiosity flourishes, students feel empowered to ask questions, to challenge themselves, and to grow both academically and personally. Ellen can often be found at a student's soccer or baseball game, dance recitals, or even at their homes dropping off books or projects that she didn't want them to miss. Ellen attends the high school graduation every year. She has saved her class pictures from each of her 39 classes and can name every student. Ellen makes the effort to find each of those students, to wish them luck, and offer words of praise and encouragement. Ellen is a mentor, a friend, and an inspiration to her colleagues. She is always willing to lend an ear, offer advice, or share her wealth of knowledge and experience. Most days, Ellen is the first teacher in the building and the last to leave. At home, she can often be found doing her schoolwork in between innings of the Yankee games or at halftime of the Giant games. She is always 1 week ahead of the rest of us and can pull a book, activity, assessment from a folder faster than anyone else. Her dedication to her students and her profession is unwavering, serving as an inspiration to all who have the privilege of knowing and working with her. Today, as we honor her as Teacher of the Year, let us not only celebrate her achievements, but also express our deepest gratitude for the countless lives you have touched and the countless futures you have helped to shape. So please join me in congratulating my sister, not only for this well-deserved recognition, I'm getting emotional, but for her dedication, her passion, and her boundless love for teaching. May she know how valued she is and how much she is loved by me, her students, colleagues, and the entire Mahwah community.
I'm gonna do a few words. We're going to start out first. Congratulations. Just want to say congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am truly overwhelmed with this honor. I'd like to congratulate all the other teachers who were nominated as well, and the whole staff of the Mahwah Public Schools, because we work together and we wouldn't be where we are without each other, and that's the key. I've been so fortunate. From the time I was a small child, I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. So I am still living my dream 39 years later. And I'm so lucky. I am sad in June on the last day of school. I look forward to the first day of school, and every year is wonderful. And I'm happy doing what I do, and I face each day with a smile. And our little ones need to always feel good about themselves and to feel safe and loved, and I hope that I've provided that for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next teacher is Miss Kelly Piccarello. Kelly Piccarello seeks ways to continue to grow her practice all year long. This school year, she has led professional development for our multilingual students in the classroom and collaborated with colleagues to integrate new resources. Kelly also introduced a school-wide initiative with students related to recycling snacks. Mrs. Piccarello keeps students' individuality at the forefront of her mind and gives her all to making a meaningful educational experience. She is willing to try new things and always approaches education with a positive, thoughtful, and let's do it mindset. Mrs. Petrie, as one of Mrs. Piccarello's class moms, has a few words to share about Mrs. Piccarello and her impact on her students.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to honor Mrs. Piccarello tonight as Teacher of the Year. My name is Jen Petrie, and my son Aiden has been in her 3rd grade class this year. I'm a class parent along with Patricia Barcella, who could not be here tonight but I will be sharing some of her sentiments as well. We'd like to congratulate Mrs. Picarello on this well-deserved honor as Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Picarello has wonderful energy and enthusiasm and a great rapport with her students. Her classroom is a very positive and inclusive environment in which my son has thrived this year. Now I'd also like to share some of the wonderful things some of the other parents in the class, of students in the class have shared as well. She is a committed teacher. She challenges her students to think critically and lead with kindness and respect. She is a great communicator and keeps parents in the loop with students' progress frequently with regular email updates, which are always appreciated. Goes above and beyond to ensure their child receives the educational support they need. She provides a positive and engaging environment. She strategically uses teaching methods best suited to meet each individual child's needs and engage them in a fun and exciting way. She's a vital influence on their child's education. She's encouraging and empowers their child to believe in himself. And finally, I'll close with some words from one of her students. When asked what she likes most about Mrs. Picarello, she said she's sweet, kind, and does the best cartwheels. And helps her to do her best at school. What more could you ask for? Congratulations, Mrs. Picarello.
And if anyone knows Kelly, she also has the best sense of humor. So Kelly.
Everyone wants to come
Of
up.
course, as you should. As you should.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was so sweet. Thank you. Hi, my whole family wants to come.
Of course, as they should.
I just want to say thank you. I've worked with so many amazing teachers over the years, and I just come to school every day. I want to make it fun because I want the kids to want to be there. So if that means dancing, singing, cartwheels, you name it, I'll do it to keep anyone's attention. And I just love coming to work, and I'm so lucky to work at my school, GW, and with a lot of the other teachers in this room. So thank you so much. That's it.
Last but certainly not least, I see Courtney waiting patiently in front there. So based on the nomination for Mrs. Courtney Burns, she's a third grade teacher at Betsy Ross School. She's a colleague and a teacher who inspires and motivates, not only her colleagues, but also her students. She continuously works collectively with her direct third grade team, but also with her collaborative teacher. They plan, create, and promote high-level instructional practices to elevate their student achievement. She promotes a loving and caring community of learners, and if you ever pass her classroom, you can see and hear just that. We are honored to have Courtney on staff, and I know that Mrs. Brannick, who is in the crowd, has even more to share as one of Courtney's parents. When I called Mrs. Brannick to speak on Courtney's behalf, she was so excited to do so, and honored, sincerely honored to do so. She spoke so lovingly about you, Courtney. So, Mrs. Brannick and Cole.
Cole's going to say one.
All right, Cole.
Go ahead, buddy.
Miss Burns is my favorite teacher ever. She is so nice to me in my class, and I have a lot of fun in her class. She taught me math and reading. She was always happy, and I love talking about Martha's Vineyard with her, and I'm lucky she is my teacher. Love, Cole.
Betsy Ross holds a special place in my heart. Not only was it my elementary school, but all three of my boys were lucky enough to attend there as well. Next month will be bittersweet as it will end our 11-year tenure there. Each of our boys had a wonderful experience. Betsy Ross literally wraps its arms around the students and is the epitome of the cozy elementary experience that families envision. Our youngest son, Cole, entered Betsy Ross facing numerous academic and personal obstacles. Not that I wasn't confident in the staff, but to say they had their work cut out for them is an understatement. When he received his IEP after kindergarten year, Miss Liddy assured me by saying, "We got him."
I will never forget those words. Cole's team had him in every respect. He is a completely different boy than the one that entered those doors 4 years ago, and I contribute his success and accomplishments to the profound passion and love of his Betsy Ross teachers. Miss Burns was the cherry on top of our Betsy experience. She had the opportunity to see the Cole that was just about to reach the finish line. What is so incredible about her is that she had a way of being super nurturing, comforting, and supportive, yet at the same time, she held Cole accountable. She introduced him to self-advocacy skills, and she was the final puzzle piece to Cole's unfathomable success. Cole wanted to please her. He always came right home and told me if there was something important in his folder or something new on the Google slide. She is a type of teacher that creates a spark within the students, one that makes kids want to do and be better. She was the perfect balance of fostering the elementary experience while also preparing him for the next chapter in his schooling. One of the greatest things she did for him was to show him that his dimples can't get him out of everything. She made him believe that he is capable and set the bar for him accordingly. You are a treasure. You are diligent, organized, motivating, and sweet, with just the perfect amount of "I got eyes on you." You have a gift in this field, and every child that has had the opportunity to be embraced by your passion is extremely lucky. Congratulations on such a well-deserved honor, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for setting Cole up for success. You, along with all of the teachers my family has been fortunate enough to have to come to know and love, are gems, and we are forever thankful.
Cole, you stole the show, man. Great job.
I don't have to say anything now, right? Thank you. You want to hold these? No.
Of course not.
Thank you.
I'll
Oh.
put this down so you can
Great.
say a few words.
Thank you. I'm overwhelmed right now. I feel so loved. I feel so supported. And I think Mrs. Brannick said it. Betsy Ross is our home. It's our cozy little community. And I started out as a para in first grade. I was a student teacher. I was a substitute. I was a classroom teacher. I am a classroom teacher. And I just feel very, very lucky that Betsy Ross is my home away from home. So thank you to my family who's here, to my students who are also my family, their families, to my Betsy family. Thank you all. Thank you. And congratulations to everybody here. Thank
I just wanted to say thank you first to all those who participated tonight. It was wonderful to hear just the different ways that each of these incredible teachers touched the hearts, the minds of our students and connected with our families. And you know, anytime that I get a chance or anytime people will listen to me, I talk about how special Mahwah really is. And this is a perfect example to show the impact that each and every one of you have on our kids. So from administration, from Mahwah, I just want to say thank you and congratulations. Before I hand it over to Dr. Morthy, I just wanted to share with everyone, the teachers who we celebrated here tonight are going to be honored at down in Teaneck for the Bergen County Teacher of the Year luncheon tomorrow. So enjoy every second of it, well deserved.
Again, on behalf of the Board of Education, I mean, it is heartwarming, and I mean, truly, I think I was tearing up, as probably all of us were a little bit, because what this really demonstrated, especially when students come and your colleagues, to recognize the contributions and to know what a difference you're making in child's life. I mean, it is really amazing. So thank you, congratulations again to Sarah Gazinski. I wrote the names down, so I'm gonna say it. Sarah Gazinski, Kathy Carisi, Liz O'Callahan, Ellen Mahoney, Kelly Piccarello, and Courtney Burns. And again, congratulations, enjoy the luncheon tomorrow, and obviously very, very well deserved. And thank you for coming out this evening to be recognized. Would you appreciate that? So we will give everyone perhaps a minute or two. You're please welcome to stay for our remainder of the board meetings, but
Great.
if you decide not to, perhaps you want to, meet and greet for a moment, and then we will We're going right to board. We're going right to 18. We've done our teachers here. Our strategic.
Allow me a couple of moments to introduce our next presentation. It's about that time every single year that we come together and we start to talk about the work that's being done with our strategic plan. Before we go forward, I want to take a step back. I know I've said this a number of times, but it's worth repeating, is to give the historical perspective of our strategic plan. So back in 2019, we came together and we started to talk about where the different schools were going. We have 6 schools in the district. They all work extremely hard. And at each school, each individual school starts to develop plans. They come together, they work with their teachers, and they accomplish their goals. But what we noticed was it was splintering. And what we needed to do was bring everyone together to really work towards a common goal. In order to develop our strategic plan, we were able to engage a number of stakeholders. We held a number of meetings. We brought our community members together, our teachers, our administrators. We spoke to our students. And we started to identify themes within those discussions, and that was our springboard into creating the Mahwah Blueprint. When we developed the Mahwah Blueprint, what we were committed to was to come together and give a report twice a year to our community to share the work that's being done. It's really important to not just build the plan, but to make it relevant and guide our practice year after year. So in order to do that, in order to showcase the work to not only our community, but to our teachers and our administrators, we developed a page that spoke about the progress, and we were able to monitor our progress. So what Dr. Fair is going to do is he's going to bring up, this is housed on our website, and as you can see, you can see the 4 frames that we identified: facilities, curriculum instruction, social emotional learning, and community connections. And within each of those frames, we have goals. Dr. Fair, if you can click on curriculum and instruction, or facilities. On curriculum and instruction, when you click on that page, you'll see the different goals that we have established. And you also see our progress monitoring bar, which will be discussed as we talk about the work within each of the frames. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there are 2 important documents that I want to bring your attention to. The document on the right, which you have a copy, our Board of Education has a copy of, is really our vision statement. So back in 2020, we developed our goals, and what we wanted to do is we wanted to identify what will this look like by the time that we're done? What are we shooting for? And then from those goals, we were going to unpack them and start to be strategic and break them out into yearly goals. So you have a copy of that at your place right now. The second tab that is on the left, when you click on it, you'll see all the work that has been done from 2020 till 2024. So when you go to the initial page, you'll see these progress bars, but a lot of people are going to say, well, what was done to get to that place? Within this document, you'll see all the work that's been done from 2020 to 2024. That leads me to my last conversation piece, is what's next. So as we discuss all of our work today, which I'm extremely proud of, it took everybody in this district to accomplish all the things that you're about to hear about. We have to start to think about what's our blueprint 2.0. Next year, we're going to come together. We're going to do the same process of listening to our constituents, hearing what's going well, identifying our points of growth, and bringing it all together and identifying themes and creating goals accordingly. And that's what's going to allow us all to be rowing in the same direction. No longer are we going to be creating goals and going left and right and splintering. It's really going to be important and powerful for all of us to work together in order to attain the goals that we have. And it's my hope that you're able to appreciate the work that's taken place we're gonna shift it a little bit. Usually we go year by year or January to June, this is our work. Being that this is our 4th year of our strategic plan, Dr. Fair, Dr. Pavino, and Ms. Rizzo, as well as Mr. Bleeker, are gonna talk about the work that we have done from 2020 to 2024, because what I want us to start to do is frame what's next. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm going to speak about the facilities section of the strategic plan. Our goals are listed here. These are the goals that we've mentioned and highlighted before. As I go through each goal individually, we'll also highlight them. As Dr. Tesoro had mentioned, as this slideshow is presented on our website later, going here, you can click on the hyperlink that will take you directly to the website portion that Dr. Tesoro had highlighted a short time ago. Goal number 1 for facilities was to regularly evaluate our learning spaces to ensure that they're flexible enough for our needs. This goal I've always referenced as we've gone through it as information gathering, and the goal that takes information, takes data that we find through various resources, and learns from that how we can apply and how we can achieve this goal. So some of the things that we've done is we've completed our facility audit. We did this right at the start of the strategic plan process about 5 years ago. At last month's board meeting, or the board meeting earlier this month, we approved a resolution to have a new facility audit done, to refresh the one that was done several years ago. That'll be a nice framework for us to look at going forward. Other things that have been done is we've taken a look at our infrastructure at various areas of it, our Wi-Fi infrastructure, paving, HVAC, vehicle roofing replacement, and created schedules to maintain and to plan for going forward. We've also increased and had strategic and specific meetings throughout the course of the year with various stakeholders to discuss areas to evaluate and areas to improve upon for next year. At the top right, we have our goal. We have the progress bar that Dr. Torre mentioned. For this goal, we value this as 85% complete to date. And in the bottom right for next year, as mentioned a short time ago, we're looking to update that facility audit and also to upgrade security system. This will bring us some consistency throughout the district. For goal number 2, regularly update innovative learning spaces. On the left-hand side are various different projects that we have completed over the last couple of years since we started the strategic plan. Goals and projects that have been done that coincide with this goal include refreshing and enhancing outdoor classrooms and courtyards. The work that we did at Joyce Kilmer School for the Innovation Lab, that is a nice counter to, or a nice tie-in with our STEAM lab that we have at the high school, the STEAM edition that we did several years ago. LED lighting throughout all the classrooms, and continued expansion of our one-to-one computers for our students throughout the district. Also to update innovative learning spaces at our wood shop at our high school, finding a location that was appropriate for a CNC machine so they can add to the projects that they can do there. For goal number 2, we value this as 90% complete. And for next year, some of the projects that we're looking to do is to have a rollout of interactive boards in some of the schools at the K-5 levels. Continue to finish up a project at George Washington School for HVAC electrical, and continued expansion of technology at grades K through 5. Goal number 3, identifying outdated and underutilized spaces. So this, again, we're going to go back to our facility audit as something that was done previously to help us in accomplishing this goal. We've also had intentional meetings throughout the years with administration, with board members, as we discuss various different projects and various different specific elements of each school and what can be done to work towards this goal. ADA needs were approved at Betsy Ross and Joyce Kilmer School. Also, our grandstand and track, specifically our grandstand replacement that was done last summer, that has improved ADA accessibility for that area of the school for any spectators or fans or students who want to attend and visit that area. And for this goal, we also value similar to goal 2 at 90% complete. And some of the items for next year that we have planned that tie into this goal is transition of the K-3 self-contained to Lenape Meadows, and continued development and maintenance of our priority list of specific school needs. And then goal 4, allocate funds yearly to ensure the safety of all staff and students. Over the course of the years, and I mentioned this before in goal 1, but it's also applicable here as well, is our development of replacement schedules for various parts of our infrastructure systems. Those meetings with principals throughout the year to identify any specific needs. And creation of the maintenance reserve account, that's another one to highlight. A new source of funding that when we started the strategic plan we did not have. It was created at the beginning of the strategic plan process, was opening up that account, establishing it, and funding it as another funding reserve to allocate funds and to accomplish any of the goals and the projects that we have. This goal, for goal number 4, we also identified this as being 90% complete. And for next year, some things that we have scheduled that aligns to this goal is refreshing the facility audit that we had mentioned previously, and allowing us to begin to project and plan for projects in the 25-26 year and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyle.
Sorry for this light, it's good with it, I can see. Yeah, I'll put it to the keyboard. It's all right, darling, thank you for the accommodation, I appreciate it so much. I'm here tonight to cap some of our social emotional learning experiences relative to the blueprint. Obviously, our goals are here, and they'll be restated slide by slide. Our first goal is to regularly evaluate social emotional student health and wellness curricular offerings and experiences. And some of the highlights from this slide I'd like to share with you is that we created a responsive classroom K2 and 3-5 curriculum. We found this to be obviously necessary for CUSAC, won't be the first time you hear that tonight, and certainly because it helps to facilitate for us a cohesive dialogue around responsive classroom and keep that initiative alive as we bring new faculty into the district. Additionally, one of the other items I'd like to highlight in the list on the left is that the SEL coaches are creating the SEL handbook for teachers, a resource guide with various experiences and ideas. And in our prior presentation, I talked about, obviously, the generosity of the board to see to it that within each of our buildings, we have at least 2 SEL coaches who are given that position and are working towards that relative to all of the initiatives around SEL, and in particular within the building. As you'll see, the last bullet, Mindful March, is literally run and executed by our SEL coaches. We've determined our success at this goal to be at 75%. On the right-hand side, the one bullet that we are actively working on right now is creating with the guidance department, not for this year, but for next year because their survey already went out, a survey in which the high school already does a post-experience survey. We're going to be adding some questions relative to SEL to that population. Our second goal is cultivate a learning environment that creates empathetic learners, appreciative of our diverse community, and communities at large are eager to understand the individual experiences of their peers and recognize the value of human rights of all people. And some of the activities I want to highlight on the left is long coming, and previously known as Harmony Day, is our International Day, which we celebrated in grades 6 through 12 at the high school. Our goal is to obviously include JK the following year and at one point get to a district-wide international experience. Additionally, we have expanded our school calendar that was created by Dr. DeToro and the central office team to embrace perhaps holidays that hadn't otherwise been embraced by our calendar before, which is certainly a celebration of our unique cultures. An item that on the left we are very proud of and is in the making is the Habitat for Humanity goal to essentially build a house for a local family. You'll hear more about that, so I won't dwell on it, but it is certainly one that we are very proud of, and as is the competitive nature of Dr. DeTore and Dr. Fair, we will build that house. We certainly use the CASEL competencies in all that we do with our students and staff. So again, SEL is not something random that Dr. Bovino and I have pulled out of the air, but in fact there are competencies that are also acknowledged by the Department of Ed relative to that. And we awarded ourselves 85 points relative to our success there. And we just at lunch today finalized how we are going to create a Thunderbird partnership in which our youth will be identifying themselves as potential Thunderbird partners, in which to trickle down their knowledge to our other students in the district. And we are also talking about, on another slide, I won't preempt it a little bit, but parents are going to have their turn to help parents as well. Goal 3 is to create programs and provide tools for parents and resources needed to support their children both socially and emotionally. And I'm always gonna, and I'm never gonna rest, and plug the Parent Academy so that Dr. Bovino and I can have friends on screen with us, and our goal is always to do greater than 40 participants. So we certainly have SEL presentations. You can go to Dr. Bovino's website and view those because we have the luxury of recording them through the means in which we do it. Propio and Talking Points are applications in which we are able to communicate with our MLL families. And I believe that that inclusive opportunity this year has broadened experiences for parents and students. And this year we also developed a document in which our guidance staff and our therapeutic team can provide parents with resources and information basically at the search of our website. So we're really pleased to have that as an offering. We've achieved 75% of our goal, and as I said earlier, we're looking to create a parent for parent or a parent for parent Thunderbird partnership in which parents who have skills and wish to share them with other parents, we can do that as well. Again, created at lunch today. That's advanced planning if you ask me. Goal 4, build a K-12 social emotional learning curriculum through support of a comprehensive school counseling program and complementing SEL program with unified language, consistent practices, and level appropriate structures. Obviously, I spoke about the curriculum, but here, obviously, I want to highlight again the generosity of the board that we have our elementary counselors in place. And I can't overemphasize how much the K-5 continuum of care for social emotional experiences exists for our students. And of course, our 6 through 12 has always been there, but has certainly been bolstered through the vision of our strategic plan. And we believe in and want to continue to connect with the community's access for all, and we hope to be able to broaden that experience as well. We believe we've reached 90% of our goal here, and these were very lofty on the right when I created them. Maybe someone should have told me to simmer down, but I'm not going to stop. And I'm going to say that one of the things I really want to work on, obviously, is creating a drop-in center experience for our community and certainly conducting annual screening of student resiliency and grit, along with our NJTSS Student Support Service initiative as well. So that is to come as well. And lastly, our 5th goal, 100% completed, was to establish explicit yearly professional development opportunities for staff as it relates to social emotional development and challenges that may occur in their classroom in teaching a group of students with diverse backgrounds and needs. We all know the wealth of PD experiences our teachers have both in and out of the district. Some of the highlight is certainly the last bullet, in which we are leaning and almost there of creating our own internal training. And this was a commitment we made to the board in which we said, thank you so much for the generosity of funding a consultant. We took everything that we could from our consultant, and in the infinite wisdom of Mahwah staff, we are ready to fly on our own and create an opportunity in which we will have a Mahwah SEL certificate based on experiences for our faculty. So that is all with our strategic plan for SEL.
All right. Ready to fly on our own. Okay.
I don't know how I follow. All right, good evening, everybody.
Where's that script?
I don't have one of those. All right, so we're going to talk about curriculum and instruction. I'm not going to go over each bullet with you. You've heard these before, and you know what they are. Back to this link, the 2020, I will go over them on each side. This is the vision statements that we had, which Dr. Truro talked about, so you can see what's there. But we're going to talk through them. There's a lot of information on all of these slides, so I'm going to attempt to highlight a couple for you as opposed to going through all of them. The first goal really has to do with updating our curriculum and ensuring that our curriculum is well balanced and that we're always monitoring it. We did that. So we went through the QSAC process. Yes. We did that. Check. It is over. So I can't officially tell you where we are, but I will tell you they were happy when they left, and we are happy that they did leave with smiles. But through this process, we were able to update our curriculum where we needed to, but it really gave us an insight as to where there were holes in our curriculum development. So we're going to be working on that. So we're not fully there. We have our points at 90%. The next things that we're going to do really have to do with understanding how to create a well-rounded curriculum with an evaluation process of that curriculum. So that's on that left-hand side, or the right-hand side for you. The other thing I want to highlight here is NJTSS. We talk about this a lot. We talk about it usually with data. But what NJTSS did for us in terms of curriculum development is it gave us an insight into where our curricular holes were. So we found through our data analysis that we were able to fill in units and mini units in courses like Algebra 1 or our foundations courses at the middle school. So NJTSS should be highlighted here for the reasons of updating curriculum. For goal 2, this really talks about how we create opportunities for our students to be global thinkers and be supportive to society at large. So there's one thing up there, Habitat for Humanity. My colleague already mentioned this, but we are building a house. It is not here in Mahwah, but it is in Oradell. And we're really excited because we have enough money for sheetrock. And I think, is it lighting?
Not yet.
It was more than sheetrock.
Yeah, some electric.
I think some electric. We can have plugs. We can have plugs. Plugs and sheetrock. So we would love to continue this. But the important piece here is that it came from our kids. Habitat Humanity as a club, and Sarah Gazinski actually is the club leader for our students. They were the ones who thought of this and who said they wanted to do it. Another really important thing is, has anybody been to Center for Food Action recently? So when you walk in, you're going to see a beautiful mural. That came from our Ramlico Ridge GMT students. They actually partnered with Center for Food Action, and they developed a beautiful mural. These are all examples of how our kids go out into the community and help others. We want to continue that. We are only at 70% here, and we are looking to do a day of good. So how can we expand this to our whole district? How can we create a day of service for everybody? Okay, goal 3. All of these words mean professional development. So in our professional development, what we provide to all of our district is we have individual professional development, we have January professional development. We have something new this year, it's called micro PDs. So we send those out. And obviously we have the ability to send our teachers and staff anywhere they would like to go as long as it aligns with what they're doing. The next step for us though with PD, because we have ourselves at 75% here, is a Ludo. A Ludo is a PD hub where you can have anytime learning on topics that you are interested in. And this is something you actually approved, so it is coming soon. We wanted to put a little sign there that said coming soon, but this is going to get us over that threshold. Okay, number 4. This really focuses on authentic learning, problem-based learning, and this was the start of the Thunderbird partnership. So we have to give ourselves a pat on the back. If we just said those 2 words, it would take up this whole slide. And we are at 100%. We're really, really excited. There are a bunch of other things that our kids are doing and our staff are doing, but that's our major highlight is that Thunderbird Partnership Program. Another thing we wanted to highlight is the DECA enrollment. Our DECA enrollment went from 49 students to 78 students. This is amazing.
This means that our kids want to get out there and experience things beyond just that classroom, which is really, really important for us. I feel as if we should have like balloons. Say ta-da,
Yeah.
ta-da.
100%.
All right, and number 5. Last but not least, this is our commitment to offering post-secondary and organizational commitments. So we created a dual enrollment program a while ago, but we've expanded it. We actually have 7 universities that partner with us now. We have 24 courses where students can receive dual enrollment. And we partner with over 4 different trade schools, which is amazing. So that alone for our kids is just a wonderful opportunity for them. The other thing here is our internship and externship program, and I'm not going to take the thunder away from Dr. Fair, because he's going to talk a little bit about that. But again, a huge opportunity for our kids. Next is micro-credentials. So coming soon. We have badging this year for pathways on our transcripts, but the next goal for next year is micro-credentials. All right. Community connections.
Thank you, Dr. All right, so as Dr. Pupino already inferred, there is some overlap with community connections, obviously with each of the other 3 frames. So the 4th frame of our strategic plan centers on these community connections, and our goals are listed on this slide. Our hashtag Mahwah Connects theme that we created several years ago has actually stuck over time, and it certainly encapsulates these goals on the following slides. I will review and showcase our great progress along with the work that we've done over the past 4 years of our strategic plan implementation. So on this slide, goal 1 speaks to our internships, externships, and mentorship opportunities for our students. And based on our progress thus far, we believe that we are 85% complete with this particular goal. On the left-hand side, you'll see a list of what we believe to be the achievements towards this goal already. And on the right-hand side of each slide is work that we believe still has to be done. So we've obviously grown with our Thunderbird partnership program. We've talked a lot about it over the last few years with almost weekly visits by local experts. We're also really proud of our Career Pathways program, which we've showcased at several board meetings, with our middle school program exposing our students to the range of pathways before them at Mahwah High School, and we have a list of those career pathways below. We piloted our internship and externship program during the summer of 2023 at Mahwah High School, with significant expansion in program and participation amongst our students. So last summer we had approximately 15 participants in our internship externship program, and currently in preparation for this upcoming summer, we have a little over 40 students will be participating, which is really exciting. What we plan on doing in achieving this goal in our final year of our strategic plan implementation is found on the right-hand side of the slide. So we look to continue to expand our Thunderbird partnerships to include a wider range of potential offerings. So exploring all types of contributions by our local experts, so experts in the classroom, professionals supporting professionals, community service partners, jobs in action, and find your passion. We look to continue to expand our internship and externship programs, and also to take a closer look at capstone opportunities for our seniors to culminate our seniors' career pathways trajectory. Our second goal focuses on the development of a program that supports guides and informs our new families in our district. We believe that currently we're at 85% of completion towards this goal. So we have worked hard to convey information to our new families on a more consistent basis. But you'll see on the right-hand side, we're working towards creating a system where once we learn a new family in our district, we have something that is automatic where we provide information to our new families related to programs and anything community related.
We have increased the district's intentional branding, highlighting the many achievements of our program. So there have been some award recognition with Future Ready Schools from the International Technology and Engineering Education Association. We have an application in for School of Character. We've, as a central office team, we've done statewide presentations on our Thunderbird Partnership Program. We've written and published local and national articles in Educational Viewpoints, which is a New Jersey-based publication, as well as School Administrator Magazine, which is national. And we've been able to, been highlighted with U.S. News and World Reports for our Mahwah High School and Rampart Ridge Middle School as schools of excellence. We've recently engaged with Laura Bishop Communications Consultants to audit our communication practices and provide district-wide recommendations for our strategy forward. Some press releases that have been written and collaborated with this consultant have been topics related to our GEMS Evening Showcase, which is Girls in Engineering, Math, and the Sciences. Also highlighting our mock trial successes, as well as our Habitat for Humanity work. On the right-hand side, in our final year of our strategic plan, we're looking to obviously continue our work in building those systems towards communication with our new families, and continue our work in partnering with our schools' HSOs to propel this work forward. Our third goal centers on engaging local experts to expand our students' exposure to career education. We're almost there. We're currently, we believe, at 95% completion towards this goal. On the left-hand side, you'll see that our Career Pathways program obviously provides opportunities for our students, with our work beginning in middle school as a purposeful precursor for our middle schoolers into our program. We've also increased branding for the district, as I discussed in the previous slide. And we look to concentrate our efforts on providing our secondary students with expansive career fair opportunities. So similar to all the other fairs we've included over the last year or so related to volunteers and club fairs, we also are looking at building in career fair opportunities. Just today, we actually had an alternative to four-year college fair for our students, which include representation from trade and technical schools. So we're super excited about that as well. And lastly, our fourth goal looks to explore how our school supports our diverse population. We believe that we've achieved 85% of our goal thus far. With support by our board, we've engaged in our inclusivity audit across the district. We've also connected with our multilingual families more regularly through our Talking Points application. Over the years, we've increased our dual enrollment course offerings, as Dr. Bovino had mentioned, and we've had intentional opportunities for student partnerships, which have grown across the district. So through thoughtful transition experiences we've had as students move up from third grade to the new building of JK and transitioning into our middle school and high school, we've had really thoughtful work done by our building principals to engage in making that transition a smooth one for our kids. Our Habitat for Humanity Club has connected with our students beyond just community service work, but through tutoring opportunities and through social connections as well, which has been really important. Our parent academies have addressed a range of timely and relevant themes to our district families of all grade levels as well. And moving forward on the right, you can see that although our dual enrollment program is really robust, we're looking to always ever improve that work and to continue to build and sustain our trade school partnerships to expand those opportunities for those students who wish to follow that path post-Mahwah High School.
Thank you. Thank you. So just to summarize. It's funny because when we talk as a team, and I know it takes a little bit of time to get through the presentation, I say this all the time, this is one of my favorite meetings of the year because it gives us an opportunity to take a step back and reflect on what's currently taking place. And if you listen to each of the presenters, there were points of pride that we talked about. There's a lot of great work that's happening all across facilities and curriculum and SEL and community connections, but there's also the next goal. Because it's something that we're constantly going to be committed to. We can celebrate, we can be proud, but we also don't want to rest on our laurels. We know that there's opportunities to continue to grow. We know that there's opportunities to identify things for us to make a little bit better, or just shift and change. It all depends on what we see as we go on. Each and every frame, it talks about assessing. And I think that's the most effective way for us to look at our status as a district, our status curricularly, our status facilities-wise, our status specific to making sure that we're giving our students the tools to navigate the social terrain, and also our status of, are we opening up our doors and welcoming in our community? So this is something I'm extremely proud of. It's through the hard work of our administrators at the school building. They have worked tirelessly to make sure that our schools are going in the right direction. It's the work of our staff that are constantly committed to doing right by kids. And I definitely want to take a moment to thank the board, because you have been very generous and very committed to this work. And all of those reasons are the reasons why we're here today. So I just want to take a moment to thank everyone who's been involved, because our work's not done, but sometimes it's great to take a step back and say, well, what have we done to this point? So are there any questions?
Not so much a question as a comment. I think that everybody, I mean, you guys, central office, administrators, teachers, all the way, right down the line, really should be proud of the work that, that we're doing here. I think that it's rigorous. It is a lot of work. It's not easy work. It sets a very high bar. And the fact that kind of everybody's in the boat, so to speak, is really a huge accomplishment, because it is a lot of work, and it's, our students and our community deserve no less. So I'm proud, to sit and listen to you guys talk about this stuff. I mean, there's obvious pride in the presentations, and you guys are doing a fantastic job. And I think it's just fantastic. It's great.
I'm just going to go back to, at the time we hired Dr. Couture to be our superintendent, a lot of us did research on the other candidates who were applying for the job. And one of the things was, the candidates often talk about, oh, I was involved in strategic planning. But if you went to the websites of the places that they worked, you'll find that those strategic plans were on a shelf. They were not updated. They were not part of the regular living catalyst for what the district does. Mahwah and the leadership team here has really taken the strategic planning process seriously, and you can see it by the work that's done every year. It's comprehensive. It is in every corner of our district, in big ways and little ways. It's a real. It has dramatically focused our efforts on continuous improvement for the student experience. If I had to summarize everything, and we have a long way. We have ways to go, and we've come a long way. And as Rick said, we have a lot to be proud of. But as is all the things on the right frame, is we still have work to do, and you guys are still enthusiastic about doing it, which is very important. So I want to thank everyone for all their contributions to the accomplishments that have been achieved, and I look forward to the accomplishments that we will set out to do in the future. And I look forward to getting the community involved in the next phase.
I could also add, being someone who sat in the room December 2019 as a parent to provide input with a child in second grade, this was a really great opportunity to see this all come around. There's really truly community input, teacher influence, as well as your direction, and that comes together through partnership and being open to that feedback. So I really want to thank you all for continuing to update us, because while there is the check the box moment that you filled the goal, there's also that this is important and you want to get it right. So I think that's really apparent in the way you've delivered your presentations and the way the parents are engaged. So I think there's a lot hear where you go from here and where we can continue to challenge so we can deliver the best for the kids. And you can see that in your intention. So thank you.
No, I just, you continue, I will stay in my head.
No, I was saying sorry because I have more stuff.
Yeah, continue. Dr. Tortora, please continue.
I didn't want to stifle anybody, I
Can you
apologize.
see?
No, I'm fine, I'm fine.
Do we need light?
All right, I'm gonna keep this brief for sure. There are things to celebrate that just recently happened, and I definitely wanted to commit to our theme of highlighting student success each and every board meeting. Just recently, Mahwah High School submitted for the New Jersey Board of Education Student Recognition Award. There were over 30 submissions in Bergen County alone. Each county has one recipient. The following were our two submissions. One, as we said, I think 15 times today, Habitat for Humanity, which is a volunteer club focusing on supporting the community within the school. I really shouldn't even explain what Habitat for Humanity is, but for anybody who's new, I'll give you a little bit of a summary. They do snow angels. They don't do snow angels, but they're called snow angels, and they shovel for our seniors. There's a tutoring and homework help club that our high school students connect with our elementary students, and they do tutoring at the library. Miles for Marcus, which our student reps spoke about. They have an ongoing relationship with Access for All, and as we said 15 times, hopefully everybody's interested in contributing, we're building a house for a family in Oradell. The second submission is for community problem solvers. The project is called Project Outreach. Each year, students in our community problem solving class research and identify a variety of school and community issues before choosing a year-long focus area. Their goal is to implement solutions to help improve the identified problematic situation. This year, students chose to focus on the needs of our growing multilingual learner population. Project Outreach recognizes issues faced by multilingual learners who are new to our country and to our community. They have spent the year providing support initiatives so that these students can have a more positive high school experience. They identified our ML students specific to social supports, basic needs, and academic supports. The social supports that they're providing, they created a meet and greet, and they have ongoing opportunities to provide a friendly face for our students in school, as well as providing guidance as needed. The basic needs, they created a closet designated to provide access to food and also hand out Mahwah clothes and gear for various spirit days. And they were able to fund this by collecting and fundraising throughout the year. Academic support, they're providing peer and also teacher-led tutoring. They also raised money to purchase reading material that were at their level. And most interestingly, our students provided PD to our teachers on how to support our ML students in class. I'm happy to report that out of the 30 submissions to Bergen County, our community problem solvers were selected for the New Jersey Board of Education Student Recognition Award. Mr. DeLessio, the county superintendent, came to our school yesterday to speak to the class, and they will be attending the ceremony down in Mercer County tomorrow. Two quick things. We have our second T-Bird Talks. That's coming on May 28th. We sent out an RSVP a couple weeks ago. We're actually going to send out a reminder tomorrow. That is going to take place at Mahwah High School Think Tank at 6 p.m. And as it pertains to athletics, because I love my athletics, we are in states for lacrosse. Our girls team won today, 12-5 against Cedar Grove. And I just got a text from Mr. Pascal. Our boys team also won today. So both advanced to the second round of the states. Okay. Last thing I promise. This is specific to school security. As we have shared over the past 6 years, Mahwah is committed to an ongoing assessment and upgrades to our school facilities and personnel around school security. Over the past years, we have upgraded and outfitted our school facilities with various security measures, such as the security vestibules, traffic bollards, enhanced communication tools, and a thorough Homeland Security assessment performed by our police department to guide our work, to name a few. 5 years ago, we partnered with the Mahwah Police to bring a school resource officer, an SRO, to Mahwah High School. The Mahwah High School SRO serves in many capacities, beginning with a police presence at the school to address or avert any security issues inside or out. It also forges relationships with our students, which is an important part of our school community connection. This is not the first time that the Mahwah Police has been involved in our schools. We have been fortunate to have the Mahwah Police serve in an educational role, which they led our students through the LEAD program, which focuses on sound decision-making and problem-solving at the elementary level. Further, the Mahwah Police are in our buildings daily, performing walkthroughs or stationed outside of our schools for increased police visibility. In talking to the police, we agree that increasing a security presence in our schools is a logical next step in our ongoing efforts and improvements. I'm asking the board to consider adding a school security officer to Ramapo Ridge School. This individual is a recently retired police officer with all the accreditations needed to serve in that capacity. Chief O'Hara and I met with the Finance and Facilities Committee to speak about the benefits of this position. This person will not only serve as an additional security measure, but will also have opportunities to build relationships with our students, teach about topics specific to safety, and be a member of our school community. This individual will be working hand in hand with our SRO and the Mahwah Police Department. Due to the success of the SRO at Mahwah High School, this is a logical addition to our Mahwah staff, and I will ask the Board of Education to vote on this position at the June 12th meeting. That is all I have.
Anything else, Mike? You sure? All right, thank you, Dr. Totoro. And thank you for the strategic plan update. Thank you to the full team. I think what's critical about the strategic plan is seeing where we were, what we've accomplished, and where we're going. And I think to have it, even though there are times that you feel it gets lengthy, our meetings, but this is really the crux and the important stuff that we're doing in this district. And so, you know, I'm glad that we are giving it its due time as well. And we look forward to, are we calling it strategic plan?
No, it was on the fly.
2.0? All right, well, I'm looking forward to it. So
It felt good.
it's like, you
Just
know,
there.
keep your ears out for those details of those planning sessions. Anyway, all right, Mr. Blake, do you have a report for us this evening?
No report this evening.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Blake. And Dr. Fair, do you have a report for us this evening?
I do, because I sort of feel bad for the four people that we are recommending to be part of our leadership team. They've endured the evening thus far. But I do want to thank other administrators from our team who have stuck it out through the evening. So I really appreciate you being here and support for your potential new colleagues. So the first person we are recommending into an administrative role is Faisal Sheikh. He is in the front there. We are recommending Faisal as our new supervisor of mathematics, grades 6 through 12. Mr. Sheikh comes to us with an extensive knowledge of mathematics, currently teaching middle school math and serving as a math coach for Montclair Public Schools. In our hiring process, we reviewed all 50 candidates' application materials, screened 20 through Zoom video conferencing, had 6 candidates in for in-person interviews amongst a committee of administrators, supervisors, and teachers from the math department, with 2 finalists conducting a presentation related to Mahwah-specific math data. Not only was Mr. Sheikh the clear choice by our math teachers as their new supervisor, but we believe that his knowledge of mathematics and mathematics instruction will be helpful in moving our math department forward. Okay, cool.
Our next recommendation is Mr. Michael Hensel. Mr. Hensel comes to us with 12 years of principal experience in Cresco and River Edge, most recently spending the past 10 years as the principal of Roosevelt Elementary School, a K-6 building. In review of over 100 candidates, we Zoom video conference with 30 applicants, calling in 7 candidates for in-person interviews with a committee of administrators, teachers, and parents from both Betsy Ross and George Washington School. Mr. Hensel demonstrated an evenness with regards to building-based procedures and has a personality and obvious leadership that can benefit the building of Betsy Ross School. We are very excited to have Mr. Hensel join our leadership team in the months to come. Mr. Hensel's references described him as down to earth and someone who genuinely believes in school community.
I know that Mr. Hensel has been practicing his wave, so can you do the wave for us, sir? Yes, that's Mr. Hensel. Third, we have Mr. Michael Hagopian. We are recommending him as the new building principal of George Washington School. In review of our over 100 candidates for principalship, again, we Zoom conference with 30 applicants, calling in 7 candidates for in-person interviews with our committee from both Betsy Ross and George Washington. Mr. Hagopian has been an assistant principal of an elementary school in Oradell for the past 7 years, and before that served as the supervisor of instruction for grades K through 6 in Oradell as well. In his interview, Mr. Hagopian exhibited an authenticity and a collaborative working style and leadership that we believe will be a match for George Washington School. His references characterize Mr. Hagopian as having a strong work ethic, and as someone who is able to forge very strong relationships with anyone and everyone. We look forward to potentially having Michael lead GW in the coming months.
And last but certainly not least, there's an asterisk on the agenda, 19E. Mr. Thomas Lamb, Business Administrator. Our central office team met with all credentials applicants via Zoom and completed a full interview process with the final 4 finalists. That sounded 4 finalists. Mr. Lamb serves as our recommendation for the position of Business Administrator to join our central office team. With 14 years of Business Administrator experience, Mr. Lamb demonstrated through his interview an understanding of budgeting, fiscal forecasting, and thoughtful execution of procedures that will ultimately optimize our business office staff. Using specific examples from his own work experience to problem solve with thoughtful precision, we look forward to welcoming Mr. Lamb to our team.
So that is our report this evening.
Well, although we're still having to vote, congratulations and welcome to Mr. Shake, Mr. Hensel, Mr. Hagopian, and Mr. Lamb. I'm just curious, Mr. Lamb, is that your family sitting with you? Oh, okay. I'm wondering, the little boy in the back. Oh, okay. He has sat patiently and quietly for this whole meeting, and I'm very appreciative. Okay. So anyway, welcome to Mahwah. I think this is probably a great meeting. You've got a great flavor of Mahwah, and we look forward to your joining the team. Thank you very much. All right, so let's move on to my report. I will keep it quick. I just wanted to April's top scoring T-Birds. We have Izzy Molina, who's a grade 11 student, who is inspiring. And our science teacher, Kristen Freet, for being very trusted. Also, congratulations to senior Julia Graceffo, who was honored with the NJSIAA Scholar Athlete Award at the annual state luncheon. And also for our T-Birds who have signed commitments to continue their academic and athletic careers at the collegiate level. There's several students going to continue on, which is exciting. And lastly, the Habitat for Humanity. I think we want to just say, go big or go home. That's it. I think that's it. I wanted to just mention the link. It's weblink.donorperfect.com/Mahwah Habitat. So again, they're hosting events. They're looking for donations. If any corporate donations are out there, please get in touch because again, I think that's a really great endeavor. So let's hope we meet or surpass our goal. All right, do we have board and committee reports this evening? Mr. Gallo.
I promise to be very brief.
Is this an end of year report, Mr.
No.
Gallo? Okay, very good.
So, reporting for negotiations, we have preliminarily come to agreement with the Supervisors Association. That's the last of our represented groups. We look forward, both parties are currently reviewing where we ended up, and hopefully at our 6/12 meeting, our next meeting, the membership of the MAS, and the board will approve the contract and will be good for the next 4 years. In terms of finance and facilities, very, very briefly, we had one little glitch with a project that we had been talking about for a little bit, the gas piping project at the high school. That's going to be re-engineered hopefully, and it'll be coming back in a different form as the bids came in way over budget. And just for our GW compatriots, the retaining wall in the front of the building will be, the other half of the wall will be worked on very shortly. There is a ton of contract renewals on our agenda this evening, all very sensible, continuing the working relationships. We have a whole bunch of groups. I did want to circle back to one of the items though is the pre-K partnership that we're developing with Bergen County Special Services, which will be introducing a new level of service, an in-district level of service for students with autism. So this will be a new service delivered in a different way in our school building, and it presents many, many opportunities to really serve this community in a better way and a more fiscally sound way as well. So it's has a lot of excitement. We'll see how we do for the first year, but we look forward to that partnership.
Thank you, Mr. Gallo. Any other committee reports this evening? Mr. Denise?
Yeah, I attended the Bergen County School Boards Association meeting on May the 7th. There was supposed to be a vote on the bylaws, but that got tabled to a future meeting. There was some updates from the county and the state level. At the county level, the QSAC report is due to come out in July or August. And at the state level, future funding is projected to be either flat or just slightly increased for the next school year, the 24-25 school year. And the funding formula is going to be tweaked and improved.
The Ouija board.
And that is my report.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Denise. Any other committee reports? Okay, from instruction and curriculum, we had our May meeting, a few things to highlight and a few things that are actually on this agenda tonight. We actually have 18 M, N, and O related to curriculum and instruction. One of the things is under 18N, there's a new course called Pre-Algebra Solutions. Courtney Corella and Danielle Polway came to speak with us about how this idea came to be. And this course came out of discussions of how best to support our ML students, ML multilingual learners. And most of the multilingual learner students are almost about 2 grade levels below in certain skills, in math particularly. And English language skills are a critical piece of understanding the math curriculum. So they wanted to pilot this course at Ramapo Ridge first. And in actuality, this will be a class, they have a ML English class already that's like a support class, but now they're hoping with this that this will be specifically to address math support for them. And it will be a tiered intervention, and there will be entrance and exit criteria for students in the course. I bring you to curriculum writing. There's quite a lot of that going on over the summer, 18O. There were some new state standards that came out in November of 2023. And these are ones we must be compliant with. Dr. Bavino assures us these are mostly changes in verbiage and language, and no significant curricular changes. So that's that. And the other new course of study under N is is Mandarin Chinese 1. That is going to be a new course at the 8th grade level. The last thing, which I think we were all very excited about in curriculum instruction, is some of the iReady results. iReady is our universal screening tool, and overall for the entire district, and this is just from beginning to about a 6-month check-in, There has been considerable growth in all content areas. It blew us away. I think on curriculum instruction, we were very impressed. And it's working. That was the crux of it. Data teams, the program, it's working, and we're hopeful that this will reflect positively in our NJSLA scores, K through 3 for sure. That's instruction and curriculum. All right, do we have board member remarks? Mr. Coughlin.
Wanted to expand on something that Max reported on. I had the privilege of attending the Montclair State Theater Awards. And when I say privilege, it was a 2.5-hour ceremony that was running late. So it was definitely a privilege, as my daughter kept reminding me all night. There was about 20 of us there with Mr. Nahum. And not to go too far into it, but what I learned that night was Montclair State University Theater Awards is actually named after a former teacher of Mahwah, Joanne Fox. Joanne Fox was theater director, and please correct me if I'm off here, in the 2000s. In 2009, she and a professor from Montclair State founded these awards, and unfortunately shortly after she passed away. After her death, the university and professor, I forget her name, decided to rename them the Fox Awards. So every year, high schools as far down as Morristown, Princeton, all the way up to us here in Mahwah and Ridgewood and all throughout Bergen County and all throughout that, let's call it central to northern part of New Jersey, are up for these awards. And there were a ton of awards given out, and it was all in the name of Joanne Fox. So it really made the 20 of us. We were all sitting there, I don't know, I think Mr. Nahum knew, but I don't think the parents that were there, especially the kids, didn't know the connection to Mahwah. So it was very cool, and congratulations to Connor. He was our winner. We had 6 nominations for the play, for the fall play, and Connor walked away with one of the Foxies. So congratulations to him. Yeah, it was really cool. Just one other thing, Dr. Turrell, I have some questions regarding the security update. Do you want me to hold on to it for next meeting? Do you want to go over it now? It's up to you. Regarding the security that we're talking about doing it at the Ridge, can we discuss why we're not looking at expanding this for the 4 other schools that would not have a security officer in the building?
That's a great question. Along the lines of our goal of expanding it, we've had the SRO at Mahwah High School for I think about 5 years now. And in that capacity, we were able to develop what that role looks like, especially at the high school level. As we start to move down, I think that role is going to shift and change along the lines of outside of the security realm. So at the middle school level, we felt like that was a logical next step, working underneath that SRO model, but also looking for more opportunities to create the connection with the students. Along the lines of supervision and oversight from, not supervision, but oversight and presence from the Mahwah Police. When we spoke to Chief O'Hara, there's a commitment from the Mahwah Police, and if you go around the schools each and every day, they walk through the schools each and every day, they're outside the schools each and every day. And they're in the elementaries in the capacity of a lead. What I really want to look at with Mr. Corey and Ms. Whalen is how do they work with our staff and our school community at the Ridge? How do we build that presence along the lines of the teaching component of it, the presence and the relational part of that role? And once we have that established, my next step is to recommend having that presence at the elementary level. So I just want to be thoughtful about what that looks like. It's not just let's just put a security guard into a school building. I think it's more important for us to do it in a manner of that not only creates a security enhancement, but also the relational enhancement and expands that experience for our students.
Just to be clear, this is not an SRO though.
This is not an SRO.
But this will be an armed security officer?
Correct.
Okay. And then from a cost standpoint, is this built into our budget? I don't know if this is a question for Kyle, or this is built in as another payroll or staff member that will be solely for the district, correct?
Yes, correct. For one position at the Ridge, this is budgeted for 24-25.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other board member remarks?
I just have a real quick one. And this is really for John Peterson.
Mr. Gallo. 8:58. Motion to close.
For the past year or two, I've been working as an election poll worker, and a year or two ago, in TNEC, they piloted having high school kids work at the election polls. 30 kids from Mahwah were trained in the last few days to be election poll workers. We're number 2 in the county behind Teaneck. We have 30, they have 37. Ramsey is 25, so we're ahead of them. But we have 30 kids who've stepped up to engage in our civic election process. I don't know if they're all working on June 4th, but there will be another push to recruit more people in the early fall for the general election. So very proud to have some Mahwah kids getting in the ground floor in our electoral process.
And very lucrative.
And lucrative.
You get paid for that.
Yeah, you get $50 for training, $300 to work.
Yeah.
And because there are opportunities during early voting, you can make this a nice supplemental income if you're a retiree. It is not tax-free income. They send you a form.
Well, that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. All right, any other board member remarks? And at the Foxy Awards, thank you, Brett. I didn't realize that. We've been talking about it, about who was nominated, and I'm surprised that piece got missed because that's very important.
Yeah, remember, this is in addition to the Metro Awards also.
Right, which are different ones, right?
Right,
Okay.
that's based in Rockland County, and I think Max mentioned we had like 4 or 5 nominations.
Yeah, for that one too, but I didn't know that, was related to Joanna Fox. It was very integral at Mahwah, so that's interesting. All right, should we take 17A, old business? Did I miss anything else? No? 17A, do I have a motion? Mr. Gallo, second by Ms. Jansen. Roll call, please, Mr. Bleeker.
Ms. Jansen.
Yes.
Mr. Copeland.
Yes.
Mr. De Silva.
Abstain.
Mr. Denise.
Yes.
Mr. Gallo.
Yes.
Mr. Kizmarsky.
Same.
Dr. Morphy.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's take new business. We have 18A to II. Mr. Kazmarsky, second by Mr. Denise. Roll call, please, Mr.
Ms. Jansen.
Yes.
Mr. Copeland.
Yes.
Mr. De Silva.
Yeah, just to follow up on Mr. Gallo's comments, 18K is actually, we have the field trip for the AP Social Studies kids to go to polling locations. And, you know, that's something that we've been talking about getting engaged, you know, in civics more. I was pumped to see that. I think that's fantastic. So, yes.
Thank you. Mr. Denise.
Yes.
Mr. Gallo.
Yes.
Any checks to abstain from?
Thank you. I will be abstaining on 18A, check number 115478 for ESS Northeast.
Thank you.
My wife's employer.
You got excited.
Mr. Kizmarsky.
I am a yes, but I must abstain on 18A, check number 115555. I'm actually not sure what check that is. It's to the township, so definitely I have to abstain that. I also have to abstain on 18FF, while I'm obviously in full support of the SRO program. It is a shared service with the township.
And Dr. Morphy.
Yes. All right, let's move on to new business 19 of our personnel. We have again 19A to II, and Mr. Kizmarsky, you have a motion? Yes. Second by Mr. Gallo. And we have quite a ton of appointments, and so thank you to Dr. Fair and your team for making sure that we are well staffed coming in the upcoming school year. Mr. Baker.
Ms. Jansen.
Yes.
Mr. Copeland.
Yes.
Mr. De Silva.
Yes, and congratulations to everybody in the audience.
Mr. Denise.
Yes, and congratulations.
Mr. Gallo.
Yes, and congratulations. Thanks for sticking it out. And hopefully you stick it out for the next 20 years with us. Thank you, and yes on all those items.
Mr. Kizmarsky.
Yes, and welcome to Mahwah.
And Dr. Morphy.
Yes, and we promise most of our board meetings aren't this long. All right, public questions or comment, public participation at board meetings is in accordance with bylaw 0167. At this time, members of the public may ask questions or make a comment on educational issues or school matters of community interest. As a matter of fairness, you're asked to limit your questions to no more than one and your remarks to no longer than 3 minutes. If you're here representing a group, please identify yourself, the group, and your position in the group. If you're here as an individual, please give us your name and address. I need a motion to open the meeting to the public. Mr. Copland, second by Mr. De Silva. We are open to the public. Mr. Feason.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. John Feason, 20 Falcon Court, Mahwah, New Jersey, land of the free, home of the brave. I think this is the end of the second year where in this district, the subject of climate change has been woven into the curriculum for all schools, all subjects, all grades, everything. And I was just wondering, what's the board's feeling about the success of that? Has that been 100, 50, 0? Did you receive pushback from the public and who said, we don't believe in climate change, why are you spending so much time on it? Or has everyone accepted it? So if you could kindly remark about what's happened over the last 2 years, I would greatly appreciate it.
He asked the board.
He asked the board. I would say I don't think. Well, I wondered if you had an answer. I think from the board's perspective, I mean, I think it's been embraced, Mr. Feason. I don't think people have not provided feedback or come to board meetings that I'm aware of. Let me put it that way. To say that they're guys. So I'm thinking that it has been a smashing success.
Smashing success.
Smashing success. But perhaps Dr. DeToro or Dr. Vivino has more specifics to provide.
Mr. Feason, thank you for the question. Let me kind of just go and explain the climate change standards and expectations that the state have is an obligation and not a choice.
Right.
But what I can tell you is, and I appreciate you using the term woven, what the district has been able to do is identify opportunities that it can be included within the curriculum, as opposed to taking something out and putting something in. Oftentimes with topics like this, people are saying, why don't you just teach X, Y, or Z? Why don't you just teach reading and writing and start to talk about the topics? The fact of the matter is there's opportunities for us to put this content, these standards, into our everyday experiences while simultaneously teaching the content in other subject areas. So no, we have not gotten the pushback that you're referring to. The training that needs to take place along the lines of where it logically can be infused is taking place. As you can see, I believe one of the professional development offerings allows some of our teachers to go and find where those opportunities can be logically placed. So we're trying to do it in a thoughtful way. It's something that the state has, like other things, has said, well, this is what you're going to do. But it's, that type of content can be infused in many different content areas. So that's what we're looking to do thoughtfully.
Thank you for your response, and thank you for your time and attention, and I hope we all have a good Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you. Seeing no one else coming forward at this moment, I need a motion to close the meeting to the public. Mr. Kazmarski and second by Ms. Jansen. We will be going to executive session. Okay, and a warm welcome from the board, from the administrators and your business office, and we thank you again for sticking it out with us this evening, your time and attention. I need a motion to recess to executive session. Mr. Kazmarski, second by Mr. Gallo, and we will adjourn directly from there this evening. Thank you very, very much for coming out this evening.
Congratulations and welcome. Welcome.